Hello and welcome back to another info session with UMSU. My name is Alicia Rattel and I'm the marketing assistant here, and with us today is VPCE Tino Dogo, as well as our guests Jasmine from the Science Students Association and Rafid from the University of Manitoba Engineering Society. They're here to talk a little bit about student associations, what they do there, and how you can get involved. With that, I'll hand it over to Tino.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Alicia. All right, so to start off with, I know that we did a bit of an intro, but Jasmine, did you want to introduce yourself? Tell us about your faculty association, and then we can go to Rafid afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. So I am currently on SSA, which is the Science Students Association for the Faculty of Science. What I currently do as a SSA member is I am SURA, and we represent about 5,000 plus students. And yeah.
Golden. So my name is Rafid Javid on UMES, so the University of Manitoba Engineering Society. I am the Vice Dic Communications or Vice President Communications. Basically what I do is I'm in charge of 3 directorships, anything in the communications field. So our electronic communications, which is in charge of the website and all of our technical needs. The publications, we have a magazine that's more of a comedic magazine that we send out, and the promotions. So I oversee the social media as well, and any kind of communication between the faculty and the students. Not the faculty, the UMES and its students.
Awesome, sounds good. Yeah, so from what you've just heard there was quite a range of positions with each faculty association, and typically each faculty association will have representatives that serve on the UMSU Board of Directors, which is the oversight committee for us UMSU executives. And essentially each group will have their own kind of operations team, and Rafid here is the communications person. Typically there's also a finance person and other operations people. So Jasmine, could you tell us about the services that SSA provides to science students, and then we can have Rafid go next?
Yeah, for sure. So SSA does provide a lot of tutoring services through Nimbus. These are students who have done extremely well in courses in science, so like math, statistics, chemistry, bio, physics, pretty much anything under the sun. And these are students like you who volunteer their time to tutor those who need a little bit of extra help. Not only does SSA provide those services, we do a lot of locker sales and a lot of exam cramps stuff where we all get together, study together, and have a good time. But aside from Faculty of Science and how SSA provides tutoring programs, also the Accessibility Student Services also provides different tutoring programs as well.
Yeah, so for UMES, we have various different things that we cover. So anything from academics to corporate relations through professional development, and even our social aspect. So from the academic standpoint, we do a lot of outreach as well. So outreach to high school students, outreach to middle school students, also first year students. And one of the things that we do for tutoring is similar to SSA. We have the Nimbus program. And also we do run exam cramps for all of our first year courses and all the upper year math courses, mainly because those are courses that we have a lot of students taking. Everyone has to take those courses regardless of what your major is. So we have a lot of students going for those, and those are really important for getting into departments too. And then we also have a lot of professional development events that we coordinate throughout the year. They will be changing this year, and we also do various hired events. So these are a lot of companies that come in every Monday or every other Monday to kind of talk about their companies and recruit students. And then we also have the social aspect. So we have our spirit team, our socials team, and our sports teams. They do events throughout the year. This year we'll be doing a lot of online events. And then we also have a lot of comedic and just ways to get student engaged. So one of the directorships that I oversee is the publication directorship. The whole point of that directorship is to kind of get people engaged and make sure their spirits are up throughout the year. So yeah, there's tons of ways to get involved in UMES. We're over an 80% council, so there's tons to do.
80 people, huge. Okay, no, that's pretty amazing. Right, so yeah, thanks so much for telling us about those services, and it kind of sounds similar from those responses, the tutoring, exam cram, and other services that make students' experiences in those specific faculties a little bit more enjoyable and more collaborative, I suppose. So my next question here is, where are you located? So your specific faculty associations.
Okay, so SSA is located smack dab in the middle of ARMS on the first floor. Well, I guess, yeah, the floor above the tunnels. So that will be in between Parker, Allen, Bueller, and McCrae Hall.
Yeah, we are located in EITC, so Engineering Information Technology Complex in E2. We're in E2, so I think it's 299, I think it was the room. There's a bunch of offices, so we have our general lounge, and then we have the offices for each exec and the directorships they oversee. If you guys know where the couches are in the engineering building by there's a bunch of couches in E2, we're just across from there.
Okay, awesome. No, that's really good. And I would imagine, actually, I think I know this to be true. Each faculty association does have their own space on campus that they operate out of. So that's pretty cool. And typically, depending on your faculty, you will find that there is a faculty association located near the central area of whatever faculty you're in. So as you will have heard, I know from science that SSA is right in the middle of all the action there. And I don't know too much about EITC, but it's a pretty central location.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So we kind of talked about space on campus, which is a huge thing. Maybe our new students may not appreciate that just yet, but what are some of the other benefits of being involved with faculty associations as a rep or just an appointed counselor? And when you are involved with these faculty associations, what are some things that students should keep in mind?
Okay, so as an UMSU rep, there are a lot of perks, I guess, in terms of joining SSA. You get to sit on the UMSU Board of Directors meeting, which Tino is also involved with. So we get to hear board reports, and then we report back to our SSA meetings, and then those SSA meeting minutes get broadcasted to US students. This is a great way to get involved on campus, both in a smaller faculty sense and broad spec as well. You get to join a bunch of different committees as well. Like I know I'm on the UMSU Judicial Board this year, and even just in the Faculty of Science, as an SSA member, you can be a student rep for a bunch of other committees, such as the Committee of Student Standings, local disciplinary committee, and you can even have the opportunity to join the endowment fund as well, which controls pretty much where all the money from the fund is getting allocated to, which is really exciting. Some things for you students to look out for when joining SSA is just a lot of the community and a lot of the events that we plan that are focused towards students. We're really here to help you as students enjoy your entire school year because uni is already stressful enough. We want to make that experience enjoyable for you guys, and you guys being able to contribute to what you want to see on campus, what events you want to see happen throughout the school year is super important to us. And if you're part of SSA, you can make that happen for other students as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so engineering, it's a very hard program in itself. So one of the things that's really essential is kind of making friends. And UMES is one of the best ways you can make friends, especially in your earlier years. For me, at least, I feel like without UMES, I was very restricted to my high school friends. But once I joined council, there was a lot of people you meet from other places and other disciplines. One of the biggest things with the UMES is kind of adding to that sense of community in engineering. So we do events throughout the year. And it's a great way to meet people. One thing I will say, like, I think I wouldn't be this far in my degree without having a good circle of friends around me. And that was one of the things that UMES did for me. So it is great in setting a sense of community. And there's a ton you can do on UMES, and it's a great outlet for students.
All right. Well, thank you for those responses. I think definitely there's overlap in some of those themes of community and network. So that's really awesome. And I think Jasmine kind of got into it, and Rafid, you summarized it, just this opportunity of being involved with a lot of different things through these faculty associations. And there's certainly portions of governance. So if you're interested in leadership on campus, I think faculty associations are a very awesome place to kind of get those things. And experience credits, I guess. All right. So I kind of want to jump around here with the questions, and Rafid, I'm going to ask you this first. So I wanted to ask about some of the traditions that are specific to your faculty association. And this question is really great because we've got Phil in the background there. So that might be a
Yes.
jumping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
UMES is super, super old. I think we are on the 113th senior stick right now. I'm currently in the office, as you can see. So we have Phil in the background. So we do have Phil. There's tons of history. Phil was actually something that was started off as a doodle of one of our students. A couple years back, or a couple decades back, there was a loss. There was a chance that we would be losing. What's it called? It's basically what establishes your engineering degree, and we were going to lose that. And then this was kind of like our symbol of support from our students, and it actually ended up saving us, and it saved our program. So I think this was in the 50s, and it's stuck as our logo since. We have tons of very old traditions, such as the Red Lion magazine, which goes back to the 1950s. And it's kind of followed on throughout the years, and it's evolved as well. We have the tradition of the senior stick. We have the stick of office. So we technically have two sticks because every single name is engraved in our senior stick. So I think we're on the 113th band on the sticks. And there's a couple more traditions like our BNAD, which is a spirit band that goes to different buys and events, basically make music, but it's really just a lot of noise. Everything from a floor cymbal, so basically a string and a cymbal that you drag across the floor. So anything that makes noise is tradition. If you guys come to Enjo when it's back in person, you'll see us marching around with our first year students around campus, making noise, singing our engineering hymn. And then there's other traditions such as our Eng Week, which is like a week of events that happens in January. But yeah, there's tons of events that are traditions in the camp and faculty.
Perfect. No, that's awesome. You can go ahead, Jasmine.
Okay, I have to compete with all of that. I am fairly new actually to the Faculty of Science, like SSA. This is currently my second year on council, but I believe many of our traditions, or at least the big one, is our year-end SSA gala that we host every year. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we aren't able to because of restrictions and everything, but fingers crossed, maybe potentially for the winter, they'll be back up and running. We also do just like a lot of events, the typical lab trek that happens every year, where students can look around all the research labs, look at a bunch of different research opportunities to see what's happening there, which is a ton of interesting stuff. Y'all should check it out when you have a chance. But yeah, I guess those are two pretty big things that happen almost every year.
Awesome, absolutely. The gala is a good time, I hear. I haven't had an opportunity to attend, unfortunately. Hopefully soon. And then also the merch. I see that you're wearing your SSA sweater there. So
yes,
yeah, beautiful.
all the awesome merch. We're getting matching sweatsuits this year, so.
Oh, Rafid is showing us his as well. I love that. And I love the story about Phil. Absolutely. I can totally believe that engineers were having a hard time. And then the answer was this lion carrying a beer. And that's the most engineering thing I've ever heard. So love that. All right, I guess so with all those traditions, my next question is, what is different this year with the pandemic? And obviously you've had to do virtual events. I think you touched on that a bit, but yeah, I would love to hear more. Jasmine.
Okay, so for SSA, all of with the pandemic and everything, all of our events are online this year. So what we've been doing was we've been doing a bunch of giveaways for food, Starbucks gift cards, Tim's gift cards. We've been hosting a lot of virtual events in terms of info sessions, like Lab Trek, which is happening this Saturday, September 11th. We're planning to do a ton of more giveaways as well within the upcoming year. Exam crams, locker sales. Well, I guess lockers are free this semester, but in the winter, locker sales. But yeah, just a ton of events. Keep an eye out for those because I also don't know what's coming because there's going to be a bunch of new stuff this year. Yeah.
Yeah, so recently we had our orientation online. It's not our usual 2-day long orientation that we usually have. And those are usually a lot more fun. But we will make the best of what we have with online services. So with online, we're doing a lot of online socials. We've done Gather Town socials. I don't know if you guys have done that, but Gather Town socials actually turn out to be really good. We'll be doing a lot of the same exam crams. Our professional development events are going to be online as well. So our bi-weekly hired events that are happening, they will be online. So different industries are going to come in and talk to students. And also we'll be having if we're back in person in winter, you might be having events based on the university's rules at that time. But we are making contingency plans just in case. But yeah, and stay tuned for our Instagram. There will be a ton of events that we're going to be doing through Instagram, including our community involvement events. So a lot of charity events as well.
So nice. That's really good to hear. Okay, so my next question here is kind of on your own experience working for and with members in the faculty association. So can you tell us more about some of the things you've enjoyed working with UMES/SSA and yeah, what you can tell our students about that experience?
Well, so far, since this is my second year on council, working with all the members is extremely rewarding. You get a lot of different personalities, a lot of different mindsets, a lot of different career paths, a lot of different degrees as well. So working with a bunch of different people is always really exciting and really just amazing. I've thoroughly enjoyed my experience as secretary last year and as UMSU rep this year because not only do I get to work closely with a group of people who I've now known to call as like my friends, but I get to work with faculty members such as the Associate Dean of Science, a bunch of advisors, a bunch of profs as well, and all the committees that I'm on. And so just building those connections with people and just leaning on them as friends and as colleagues is really rewarding. And yeah, it's just the whole vibe of working with new people every year or the same people every year is just really rewarding.
Yeah, I'll also throw in other engineering groups that we have in this spiel that I'm going to give. So basically with UMES, I've been on UMES for the past 4 years. I started in my second year as the Frosh integration director. So I planned the orientation and a couple Frosh events. And then my second and third year, third and fourth year, I was on the promotions directorship. So I was in charge of the social media, all the posters that we make and all that kind of stuff. And then this year I'm the vice chair communications. With UMES, I kind of got to meet a lot of people that I didn't know beforehand. In high school, I was one of those people that was very involved. In first year, I didn't do that because I was a little scared. But it benefited me a lot. I was really bored in my first year and I kind of needed outlets like this, just so I could stay away from some of the technical aspects too. You kind of need that outlet because when you're just doing school, it gets really boring. You kind of need some distractions at the same time. So that's why UMES was really important for me, just so I have something else to do other than just technical stuff with school. But also UMES kind of gives you a lot of experience with working with different teams. You will be working with teams with UMES, and in industry, you will be working with teams. So it gets you used to that kind of stuff too. And yeah, so a lot of team building, a lot of team working, you get to work with a lot of different people. And collaboration is a really, really big skill that you need in engineering and in other faculties too. Which is why it's one of the things that are really important in around the faculty. You'll see a lot of our students are involved with a bunch of our technical societies. So technical societies, for those of you who don't know, are our engineering design teams. We have quite a few. Most of our students are involved with technical societies, mainly because that's what gives you the engineering experience without having engineering experience to get jobs. So those are really important. So just getting involved in general is super important. And UMES, in my opinion, was the easiest way of getting involved, especially early on in your degree.
All right, no, that's really awesome. So kind of hearing ideas of connections and community collaboration, all very beautiful words. And yeah, if you want some of those things and experiences, then yeah, absolutely be involved with your specific faculty association. All right, so to wrap things up here, my last question is, how can students connect with your faculty association? And yeah, are there any other educational resources and things that you'd like to share in this last response?
Okay, so students can connect with SSA through our Instagram. We always have people on there 24/7. It's Manitoba SSA, short and sweet. You can also email us. I believe the email is Science Students Association. But yeah, or you can even, if you know any of the members personally, you can always shoot them a DM through Instagram and just say, hey, I'm interested in applying for an applied position or running as an elected member for SSA. How do I do that? Or if you have any questions regarding any events, anything related to school, all of our DMs are open. The SSA DM is open and the email is always open too.
Yeah, for UMES, you can DM us at UMES_eng, or you can email any of the execs. We have a website where you can get the emails. So it's umes.ca or .me.ca. And you can email me specifically. So vsc@umes.mb.ca is my email. And also there are multiple ways of getting involved, especially in your first year. For upper year council positions, those end up happening in around April. We do have appointed positions. So there's about 60 to 70 appointed positions that we have. And then there is some of the appointed positions are exec positions. So there's 9 exec positions and 60 non-exec positions at a minimum. 60 to 80, we vary from year to year. And we also have ways for first year students to get involved, which will be happening very soon. So we have our Frosh intern program. The Frosh intern program is basically they will be interning on different directorships. So my interns are the promotions interns. So you get to work with that team as a member of that team. So there's different interns for different directorships. Each directorship takes anywhere from 1 to 2 interns. So generally there'll be around 20 positions available for first year students. And we also have our first year committee. Our first year committee is basically any first year can be involved. They basically make events for first year students. A lot of online events will be happening this year. So we've had everything from paper mache's sessions to just like in the past when we were in person, we would have different game tournaments. Smash Bros is a very, very popular thing. So we would have tournaments in 229, movie nights, gather towns when it was online. So they plan different events. It's a really easy way of getting involved in the faculty. And you don't have to be in the faculty to apply to the first year committees. You can be a U1 student that is looking to get into engineering, and then keep an eye out for those applications. They'll be coming out the end of this week.
Right, awesome. Well, thank you both so much for sitting down with us and sharing just information on your specific faculty associations and also just some broader themes on what faculty associations do on our campus and the fantastic work that they do. I think all of us have been involved with faculty associations here, so we all know and appreciate the worth and kind of environment that they provide for students. And sometimes I say for our students, but I actually mean just students in general, because we're all students. And yeah, it was really great getting all these responses from you again, and thanks again.
Awesome. Thank you so much to Jasmine from the Science Students Association and Rafid from the University of Manitoba Engineering Society for sitting down and chatting with us and sharing a bit about what faculty associations are all about. On the screen, you will see any of the contact information for these 2 student associations, and be sure to look out for your own faculty's contact information to get connected with your community. Thank you for watching another UMSU info session. Take care.